Chapter 326. The Christian regiment perished. In the face of the successive events in less than a minute, Jesus was very calm. He doesn't really care much about Christianity, or about existence outside of himself. As an old yin bai who has been hidden behind the scenes for many years, there are only two things he really cares about: their own safety, and their own strength. The collapse of the Christian group and the subsequent turmoil will indeed have a certain impact on his strength. But Jesus is now more concerned with another thing than with the problems that will arise later. Lin Kei's strength is constantly improving at an unexpected speed. It's not a temporary explosion, or an improvement in individual abilities. It is a more comprehensive improvement. If I had to give an adjective, then Jesus felt that he should use evolution to refer to the current Lin Kei. Lin Kei is constantly evolving. More importantly, Lin Kei evolved not just because he devoured the Christian masses. Long before that, when he first suspended Lin Kei's time and lowered the curse through the holy thought, the evolution had already begun. First he was initially immune to the effect of time stopping, and then he was immune to the effect of the curse, and his strength skyrocketed without warning. It was because Lin Kei suddenly improved his strength that Jesus did not respond in time and was taken back to the 77 outer gate by the other party. Of course, up to this stage, events were not beyond Jesus' control. What really caught he off guard was after he urged the power of Saint Thought with all his strength to launch a new round of attacks on Lin Kei. After carrying that wave, Lin Kei completed the second evolution. Not only did he begin to initially immunize his holy thought, but even his strength skyrocketed again, reaching a higher level. At that time, when Lin Kei started to kill the Christian people, Jesus, who was caught by Lin Kei in his hands, actually reacted. The reason why he didn't save people at that time was not because he didn't want to do it, but because he couldn't do it. Lin Kei, who had completed the second evolution and digested Michael at a terrifying speed, had mastered the power of the holy thought. Lin Kei's holy thought and his holy thought were offset, and Jesus' physical strength was still crushed, which caused him to delay in watching the play. And after that, it was the third evolution for intuition. After devouring all the elite of Christianity, Lin Kei's aura began a new round of ascension. This is far beyond the previous two evolutionary super-evolutions. In just a few breaths, Jesus felt an unprecedented sense of oppression from Lin Kei's body. More importantly, this sense of oppression that cannot be described in words is constantly increasing and rising. Monster. Looking at Lin Kei, who could still pass the trick a few minutes ago and crushed himself in all aspects a few minutes later, Jesus said with a heavy face, "Those guys from the White Knight King are crazy, so they will choose to help you, this monster. I can see your huge desire hidden in the depths of your heart. The destruction of Christianity is just the beginning, and you will eventually devour the entire box. When it happens, the White Knight King will definitely regret their decision. Don't put this on hold and pretend to be pitiful with me." Lin Kei let out a sneer. "After I eat a person, I get more than just his strength. I know now exactly what you Christians want to do. Reshape the box court and solve the all-powerful paradox to allow Yahweh to advance to double digits and become the overlord of the box court. Wrap up the next stage of human history. Let Christianity suppress other gods in the outside world, and harvest linger. Whatever succeeds, you Christians will carry out a drastic transformation of the box court. Compared to doing nothing, I am simply the victim, and you Christianity is now the biggest cancer in the box court. Of course, that's a thing of the past." Lin Kei patted his stomach. "After devouring you, I will become the new Christianity. At that time, I will use my actions to change the popularity of Christianity and become their #1 good person in the box court." "Good?" Jesus did not believe a word. "If you're a good guy, there won't be a few bad guys in the world. That shows that I have single-handedly raised the overall level." Lin Kei replied with a smile. "Isn't this still a good thing? I think I'm totally fine with calling myself the #1 good person in the box." "You put this and me Matryoshka doll." In the face of Lin Kei's sophistry, Jesus responded without hesitation, while scanning their surroundings. "What about people? What about his reinforcements? Where did Yahweh and the Holy Spirit die? Why did they never react?" After 3 evolutions, he could no longer be Lin Kei's opponent now. The best way to continue fighting or temporarily retreat is to enter the Trinity state. But the battle was so loud. Why did Yahweh and the Holy Spirit not appear for a long time? "Are you looking for Yahweh and the Holy Spirit?" Just as Jesus was in doubt, Lin Kei's voice suddenly came from not far away. "Read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Don't look for it. You won't find the two of them." An ominous premonition arose in Jesus' heart. "What did you do to the two of them?" "Of course I ate it." Lin Kei patted his stomach again. "I just talked to you before. You don't think I'll really give you the opportunity to enter the Trinity state and cast the simulated star creation map on your eye, right? When was this?" Jesus was completely unable to understand this. "Why am I completely unaware?" "Of course, it was the moment you summoned that pillar of light with the help of the power of those two guys." Lin Kei twisted left and right twice and moved his body, making a crisp sound. "If you attack with the help of their spirit and power, it means that they don't have extra strength to defend. It just so happened that I got part of the linga of the two of them from Michael, and directly absorbed most of their power through the linga resonance. And after reducing the power of Yahweh and the power of the Holy Spirit to 4 figures, everything was settled. Lin Kuei directly shot an ultra-long-range dragon shadow projection, and the two were pierced and absorbed. In other words, the last hole card that Jesus had been waiting for had been solved long before. Lin Kuei underwent the first round of purges. Now you understand why I just said that you are the only one left. After a crackling sound, Lin Kuei, who had stretched his body, walked towards Jesus. Okay, that's almost the end of the explanation. Jesus was stalling for time through dialogue, and Lin Kuei could naturally see it. But the reason why he didn't start right away was because the amount of food he had just eaten was a bit too much, and the remaining space could not hold 2 figures. But during the conversation with Jesus, Lin Kuei had already digested all the concepts below 3 digits in his body. Not only did it free up the space it originally occupied, but it also further increased the space through this newly acquired power. After increasing and decreasing, Lin Kuei's digestion space successfully vacated a large number of areas. It's still a little reluctant, but a 2-digit number should be enough. 7. Chapter 327. When Bayasha and the others took a shortcut to the upper level of the box court and rushed to the 77 outer gate, it was already half an hour later. Looking ahead, there was only a huge pit, completely devoid of any life, and the 77 outer door was no different from the ghost. Including the Halloween Queen, who had been helping Lin Kuei, everyone fell silent. This is what happened. His gaze swept left and right, and Di Shitten's face was full of confusion. It's really not that he has little knowledge, it's really that the current situation is too bizarre. What about Christian people? What about Jesus and Lincoln? Where did they all run away? How did I not notice the breath at all? Emperor Shitten really couldn't sit still now, and wanted to take out the Rig Veda to temporarily retrieve the power to check the situation. Hakayasha, did you find anything? Nothing else, only 1990 party was found. Bayasha was silent for a moment, then suddenly reached into the ground under his feet and grabbed an arm to pull Lin Kuei out. Can you explain why you're hiding in the ground? Ahem, isn't this thinking of surprising you? Lin Kuei coughed and patted the clothes that had just been changed on his body twice. I didn't expect that. Bayasha, you are quite keen. This can find me. It's your breath that is too obvious. Looking at Lin Kuei, who was still exuding a trace of terrifying momentum from time to time even though he was trying his best to suppress it, Bayasha's face showed a solemn expression. What the hell is going on here? Where did Jesus and the Christian people go? At this time, there is no need to ask knowingly. Skillfully patting his stomach, Lin Kuei replied happily. All of them were eaten by me including Jesus. No one ran away. Is that really the case? Although the moment he saw this tragic situation, there was a faint guess in his heart. But after being truly affirmed, Bayasha was still a little shocked. What is your condition now? According to our previous observations, your devouring ability should not be able to do this. Level. Obviously, Lin Kuei only ate Gabriel and Peter 2 3-digit figures 2 days ago, and then entered a full stomach to stop. Why haven't I seen it for 2 days? Lin Kuei's appetite has increased so much. Could it be that none of the devouring abilities you displayed before were activated to their limit? Huh? Not really. Lin Kuei waved his hand and replied with a smile. Actually, I haven't lied to you, I really ate 2 or 3 figures 2 days ago and was full. Then you are now. In Jesus' words, I evolved. Evolved? Actually, it's an increase in strength. When fighting against beings other than humans, their last man, whose strength will continue to increase. When fighting strong enemies, it will increase its strength rapidly in a short period of time until it surpasses the enemy's breaker. Coupled with the strength that is improved after digesting the enemy through their ultimate creature. This kind of factors are superimposed. Lin Kuei's strength completes 3 jumps in a short time, and the devouring space will naturally be expanded. Of course, the main reason is to obtain the blessing of the ultimate trial of mankind. Bayasha was stunned. What? I mean, I became the ultimate human trial, so my abilities were strengthened. Lin Kuei stretched out his finger and pointed to himself, the final trial of human beings, the last person. Are you interested in learning about it? Shirayasha, Lin Kuei became the ultimate trial of mankind. So after you went out for a walk this time, you not only got the identity of a ruler above the god king, and for inexplicable reasons, suddenly obtained the identity of the ultimate trial of mankind. It's worthy of Shirayasha, and the summary is in place. Lin Kuei gave a thumbs up to Bayasha. Give you a thumbs up, no need to thank me. You kid is less here. Bayasha clenched his fists, a little wanting to hit someone. Are you when we don't understand? The final trial of mankind. Whoever becomes the ultimate trial of mankind acquired has accepted this identity himself. Huh? Is there still this statement? Lin Kuei raised his eyebrows, and a look of surprise appeared on his face. I was careless this time, and I will prepare for class next time I lie to you. You're not going to be floating. Bayasha narrowed his eyes. How do you feel that after you finished Christianity, you suddenly didn't put us in your eyes? HMPH, isn't that normal? Lin Kuei patted his chest, and his face showed confidence. I was a little hesitant before, but now I can be sure that you can't beat me. Shirayasha, read violent novels, go on Fellow Fiction Network. When you can't fight, choose to make promises, and after you can fight, you will strike hard. Emperor Shitten on the side couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Among the people I have seen, there are really few realistic guys like you. Thank you for the compliment. Lin Kei smiled and looked at the Halloween Queen, who didn't know what she was thinking. Speaking of which, this time is really thanks to the Queen's help. If you hadn't temporarily lent me realm authority, I really wouldn't have been able to go so smoothly and reach my stomach in one step. Then you should owe me a favor. Looking back from all around, the Halloween Queen stretched out her little white hand and ticked towards Lin Kei. The authority of the realm can almost be returned to me. Of course, no problem. Lin Kei did not prank and scare people again this time, but directly began to cut the realm authority in his body. After condensing a fist-sized ball of light at his fingertips, he stretched out his palm and handed it to the Halloween Queen. Give your realm authority. Huh? How much more came out? Impaling the ball of light handed over by Lin Kei into her body, the Halloween Queen noticed something was wrong for the first time. Are you stuffing my share of realm authority with you? Not really. Lin Kei shook his head slightly and replied, didn't I just eat all the Christian people? Although those guys' 5.8 strength is only 4 figures, their gifts are quite rare. I glanced a little and found that there were several realm gifts in it, which happened to be missing from your part of the realm authority. The Halloween Queen reacted, so you incorporated those gifts into my realm authority? Yes, I have also received more other types of realm gifts this time, which is completely enough to upgrade my realm authority. Lin Kei replied with a smile. As for the few realm gifts given to you, they are not particularly important to me. Just treat it as a gift I sent you in return, and it won't be counted in this favor. Well, then I'll take it. After adjusting to the realm authority that had changed a little in her body, the Halloween Queen looked back at it. The matter of Christianity and the Bible God is over. What are you going to do next? Chapter 328. Do what? Hearing the Halloween Queen's inquiry, Lin Kei showed a smile on his face. That's an interesting question, Queen. What do you think I'll do? Faced with Lin Kei's method of answering questions with questions, the Halloween Queen directly gave a high-quality answer. I don't know. Then I don't know. Lin Kei shrugged. The next step is probably to receive the Christian heritage, and then sleep in the territory. Lin Kei, have you forgotten something? Seeing that Lin Kei didn't seem to be joking, Odin on the side couldn't help but remind. There, ruler above the God King, you threw at me. It has not been dealt with. Ruler above the God King? The Halloween Queen, who didn't know about it, turned around and had a thoughtful look on her face. Speaking of which, I seem to have heard Skaha mention yesterday that the Celtic Gods group has become a subsidiary god group of the Nordic gods. If it weren't for her special status, she only nominally ruled the Celtic gods, and even her ling would have been slashed. Listen to Odin, this matter was done by Lin Kei? Of course. Odin nodded 17 times. I'm not crazy. How can I have the courage to offend so many gods in one breath? After speaking, his gaze looked at Lin Kei again. When you were on the other side of Thousand Eyes before, you said that you had a good way to solve this matter. Although then suddenly there was a series of amazing things such as Michael sneaking to the lower level and fighting with the Halloween Queen, Lin Kei fighting Jesus after solving Michael, and Lin Kei eating all of Christianity. But the matter of the ruler above the God King was related to Odin's life, and no matter how surprised he was, it was impossible for him to forget what Lin Kei had said. Now that Christianity and Jesus have been solved by you, is it time for you to deal with my problems? Speaking of which, it seems that there is such a thing. In Odin's gaze, Lin Kei, who was about to give himself a small vacation, finally remembered this matter. But didn't you ask Athena on the way? Obviously she heard me say it. I did ask when I was on the road. Glancing at Athena, who was looking at the Christian ruins and didn't know what she was thinking, Odin replied. But she refused, saying that it was better for you to say it yourself. Oh? Let me say. After glancing at Athena playfully, Lin Kei suddenly showed a bad smile on his face. Actually, this matter is not complicated to solve. The reason why the gods of those gods came to the door to look for trouble is mainly because the two of us took their linge. In that case, then let's convince those guys to give up and get the link back. Odin, what is the commotion of persuading the gods who come to the door to ask for explanations to give up their godhead? At this time, shouldn't it be said to give up the lingers in his hands and return these lings to their original owners? Facing Lin Kei, who did not play cards according to common sense, Odin couldn't help but fall into silence. At this moment, Shirayasha, who had not spoken since the beginning, suddenly stood up and asked a question. Persuasion? How are you going to convince them? This is thanks to our goddess of wisdom. Lin Kei stretched out his finger and pointed at Athena not far away. She handed me something called Linga Resonance. I researched it a little and found that this thing seems to be quite useful and can come in handy. Linga Resonance? Hakayasha frowned slightly, as if he had thought of something. Shouldn't you be able to separate those guys' linny from your own? Of course. Airplanes tilde. The invisible fluctuations flickered, and Lin Kei summoned more than a dozen small balls of light while controlling the soaring momentum on his body. Read violent novels. Just go to Felu Fiction Network. You see, this side is Hestia's linge, and this side is Artemis's linge. And this, it's Aphrodite's link and… Okay, you can stop. The expression on Hakayasha's face gradually became complicated. Although there were some doubts as to why the owners of these link introduced by Lin Kei were all women, this was not the point. We guessed what you wanted to do. You want to launch the third stage of Linga resonance through this part of the Linga you snatched, threatening those guys to surrender, right? Hakayasha, you are so careful with the wording. Taking these link back into his body, Lin Kei replied awe-inspiringly. What is a threat? I'm negotiating fairly. After you eat those Christian guys, will you still superimpose their cheekiness? I think it can be stacked. No wonder you're getting more and more shameless. Ayasha sighed, but did not stop Lin Kei. Pay attention to the movement when negotiating fairly, and stop making trouble like Christianity. Good to say, good to say. In fact, even if you want to make a big deal again, it is very difficult. After this 3 consecutive evolutions, Lin Kei's strength is no longer comparable to before. Look at Jesus, who was chased and beaten by him in the end, and had no power to fight back. The 2-digit number of ordinary 303 is no longer a level of existence with him after evolution. After digesting the 3-digit figures and Jesus in his body, Lin Kei's strength will be further improved. Even if the incident of ruler above the God King would involve the entire group of gods in their box court, and there were plural double digits among the potential enemies, Lin Kei's confidence was still very sufficient. If you really want to start a fight, whether the opposite 2-digit figure can catch his punch is a question. If you can, don't do it again. Ayasha's voice sounded from the side. It is impossible to hide the destruction of Christianity. When this matter gets out, it will bring unprecedented shock to the box court. If you continue to annihilate more gods, I'm afraid it will cause chaos everywhere. Even if it can be dealt with in the end, unnecessary casualties will still occur, and it is better to avoid them if they can be avoided. Okay, then come according to your requirements. Although he didn't put her in the eyes when he spoke to Ayasha before, Lin Kei didn't really do that. After agreeing to Shirayasha's request, he turned around to remove the barrier that covered the outer gate of 77 and looked at the sky above. Since you are here, then stop hiding and come out to meet. Chapter 329. A calm and extremely penetrating voice came from the forest gap, and the blink of an ice spread throughout the entire 77 outer gates. In the next second, energy fluctuations accompanied by powerful momentum came from all around, covering the entire 77 outer gates. After realizing that he and the others had been discovered, the triple figures from the major communities of the box court came out of the shadows. You're quite a bit here. His gaze circled around the crowd, and the corners of Lin Kei's mouth rose slightly, and a smile appeared on his face. Let me guess, you have traveled all the way here to check on the state of Christianity? Yes. Glancing at Athena standing next to Lin Kei, Hestia in the crowd took a step forward and took the initiative to stand up and reply. After all, there are double-digit tens in this incident, and we have to figure out the specific situation. Double-digit battles, even if placed in the box court, are quite explosive. When the unconcealed breath of Jesus first appeared in the lower level of the box, whether it is the upper level of the box court or the lower level of the box court, as long as it is a capable strong person, all the A's have been cast. In that moment, notice that Jesus was not bullying the small, but rather a righteous man and an unfamiliar 2-digit figure after the battle, including Hestia. Basically these 3-digit powerhouses from all major forces were all frightened, and the development after that was even more unexpected for them. Hakayasha returns Yasha Ling, retrieves part of his power and returns to the 3-digit peak, intervening to interrupt the battle between the two. Lin Kei, who seemed to be trapped by their holy thought, suddenly resumed his action and ran to the 77 outer gate with Jesus in an instant. Lin Kei monopolized the Christian army, and one person destroyed the entire existence of Christianity, and even solved Jesus. That's Jesus. Standing at the apex of the box court for so long, the 17 2-digit Jesus. Although after that, the outer gate of 77 was surrounded by Lin Kei's enchantment, preventing them from continuing to pry. But what they saw alone was amazing enough. A new 2-digit figure appeared in the box court, or stepping on the body of Jesus. The old 2-digit figure directly proves the top double-digit figure of its gold content. After mobilizing manpower and material resources to investigate it the first time, they successfully figured out Lin Kei's identity. The new leader of No Name, the ruler of the proxy class that was just announced in the East District of Hakata not long ago. Although there is already a community in terms of identity, this community is nothing in the eyes of the 3 digits. If I have to say, this community that is supported by Lin Kei alone is not a community at all. It is simply Lin Kei's toys. After realizing this, the strong vote, including Hestia, couldn't sit still. The current Lin Kei is equivalent to 2 digits in the wild in these 3-digit A's. This time, in addition to inquiring about intelligence, They understood why Lin Ke had a conflict with Christianity. The more important thing is to contact Lin Ke and establish a good relationship with the other party. If it goes well, maybe you will be able to hug your thighs with multiple powerful two-figure allies in the future. So it is. Just when the major triples were thinking about how to test it next, and gradually pulled into their relationship with Lin Ke seemed to understand something, and a voice with a hint of a smile came from the front. It turns out that your position is trying to win me over. Isn't that too friendly? Shouldn't normal people be afraid when they see that I will destroy Christianity as soon as I make a move? I don't think it's a problem. Hestia, who was standing at the forefront, responded immediately, trying to show his friendliness. Being able to get the approval of the White Knight King and the Halloween Queen, Chief Lin Ke, you will definitely not be some evil person to kill. Although it's just an intuition, I think this matter should be that Christianity is at fault first, and you are reasonably fighting back. You can talk. Lin Ke chuckled and looked at the triple figures standing behind Hestia. What about you? Also think I'm right? Of course, I support the actions of Chief Lin Ke. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Chief Lin Ke is good. I have long seen that the Christian bastards are not pleasing to the eye. Chief Lin Ke got rid of the Christian people. In my opinion, he did a good deed, and I naturally support it. The thought of what those guys did in dystopian warfare makes me angry. Well done, Chief Lin Ke. On behalf of the Celtic God Group, I fully support the leader of Lin Ke. Various responses came from all directions. Although the words are different, the meaning expressed is generally exactly the same as Hestia. None of them had any opinion on Lin's destruction of Christianity. There were even a large number of triple digits from the major god groups cheering for this. As early as the dystopian war period, Christianity, which had been secretly engaged in trouble, formed a bond with the major gods. After that, the other party has been secretly making trouble, invisibly suppressing the forces of the major gods in the outside world. As for Christianity, they have long looked unpleasant. It's just that Christianity has the strength of Jesus, and can also enter the double digits of the Trinity State explosion. With a huge gap in strength, even the three digits did not dare to easily declare war on Christianity, and could only look at each other disgusting. Now that Lin Ke has destroyed the other party, it is simply very happy. It can be said that at the moment of seeing Jesus dead, in addition to being frightened, the three figures present were more emotionally happy. This group of disgusting guys is finally gone, and there is no need to worry about being pitted in the future. Chief Lin Ke, as you can see, a smile appeared on Hestia's face. At least those of us who are present in the three digits have no problem with you, good Zhao. And to be honest, your destruction of Christianity this time actually helped us Greek gods a lot. The other day, the Christian people ignored the rules and forcibly broke into the sacred mountain of Olympus to find trouble. If you hadn't taken action to destroy Christianity, we would have fought a proxy war with Christianity in more than 20 days. In the absence of absolute odds, your shot this time can be regarded as helping us through a crisis. If you don't mind, you can take the time to visit the sacred mountain of Olympus. Let's thank you. Well, there is no hurry to thank you. Lin Ke shook his head slightly, and a playful smile appeared on his face. Since you have no opinion about me, and even take the initiative to show kindness to me, then I can't hide it. Hestia, I have two news on my side, one good news and one bad news. Which one do you want to hear? Chapter 330. Two messages. Unexpectedly, Lin Ke's topic became so sudden, and Hestia replied after being stunned. Let's hear the good news first. The good news is that you were snatched away yesterday because of the matter of ruler above the God King. I know where it is. Do you know where? Unlike Hestia, who was squatting in the house of the Earthfault world in the box court, Hestia, as the courtesan of the Greek gods, can be described as witty. As soon as Lin Ke's words came out, she thought of a possibility, and an ominous premonition rose in her heart. Chief Lin Ke, do you say the bad news you're going to say next is also related to this incident? Looks like you've guessed it. A playful smile appeared on Lin Ke's face. Standing in place, he silently looked at Hestia for a few seconds and gave the other triple digits some time to react. Lin Ke finally stopped hiding the aura on his body and completely released it. That's right, just like you think. The overwhelming terrifying momentum fell head-on, making the bodies of the three figures present sink and feel a heavy 030 pressure. At the same time, Lin Ke's voice mixed with laughter echoed above the entire 77 outer gates. The ruler above the God King did this thing. Throwing this black pot to Odin's back is the same I made. Of course, most of the linger that was taken away from you is also on me. After knowing this, are you sure you still want to woo me and invite me to your territory? As soon as Lin Ke's voice fell, the 7 outer gates, which had just become lively, instantly fell silent, including Hestia, who had just greeted him with a smile. The triple figures from the major gods present all fell silent. There was no other reason, and Lin Ke's words did not deceive. Lin Ke released not only a simple momentum, but also revealed the aura of his own Ling. Being able to advance to a 3-digit existence, even if he is not as smart as Hestia, his perception ability is still up to par. With a simple sweep, these three-digit people who were taken away from the link felt a familiar aura, BHBC, from Lin K. It was the breath of the part of the link that he had been taken away. This, looking down at the Christian ruins not far away, as if looking at some amazing wonder, Athena did not move her gaze for a moment. Hestia, who was called a good old man in the past, twitched the corner of his eye, and for their first time had the urge to teach the bear child a lesson. If you know about this, tell her earlier. Now that things are so embarrassing, she, who has been standing at the forefront and talking to Lin K, is difficult to reply at the moment. Taking 2 deep breaths to temporarily calm his emotions, Hestia looked at Lin K in front of him again and had a preliminary understanding of his personality. Chief Lin K, may I ask why you listed this news as bad news? Aren't you ready to return this part of Link? Yes, I'm not going to pay it back. Lin K did not hide his thoughts in the slightest, and replied bluntly. Anyway, this matter of the ruler above the God King has already happened, so why don't you just admit it? I want to be the master of the box court. This is what I want to do next. What do you think? They don't want to look, except for a very small number of people who are not gods and have not been taken away from. The 3 digits of the Linga continued to watch the play. The remaining triple digits from the major god groups fell silent. If they could answer, they naturally disagreed with Lin K's idea. But the problem now is that there is no way to answer this question. Who is Lin K? Without a word, Christianity was destroyed, stepping on the new double digits of Jesus' ascendancy. Read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. No matter how nice it sounded before, it could not hide the other party's series of brutal achievements. If you contradict the other party's words, if you provoke him, a 2-digit character with a weird personality, even if it is not directly shot, there are many ways to target the 3-digit number. It seems that you have no opinion. Seeing that the gods did not give a response, Lin K helped them make a decision, and then turned to look back. What about how many of you? Any comments? Airplanes tilde, airplanes tilde, airplanes tilde. The space slowly distorted, and 3 tall, short, fat, and thin figures appeared in front of Lin K, one after another. Their bodies were filled with a layer of mist, and each person's figure was covered, and their breath on their bodies was also very calm. If the disguise on the body surface is removed, I am afraid that people with weak strength will see a few of them and even recognize them as ordinary people. But, at the moment of seeing these figures, whether it was the 3 digits watching the play in their sky, or the gods who were one of the parties, at this moment, they all converged the breath on their bodies, and even stopped their breathing. And the atmosphere did not dare to take a breath. Even if it covers the figure and shields the breath, the 3 figures present still recognized them the moment they saw these figures appear. 2 digits. These 3 figures that suddenly appeared were all from the double digits of the major god groups. Burning the Heavens, Dozu, Shakyamuni. Pointing out the identities of the 3, the smile on Lin K's face gradually became richer. I didn't expect it. You guys attach great importance to me, except for the 2 figures that are asleep or out of play. Now the 2-digit figures related to the major god groups in the box court seem to be just the 3 of you. On the matter of ruler above the god king, alone, it is really only the 3 of us who'll end. But if you want to raise this matter to the lord of the box court, then it may not be. After Dozu, who was standing in the middle, nodded slightly in response. His eyes looked at Bai, Yasha and the others not far away. White Knight King, Halloween Queen. Are you and the 2 goddesses on his side? Yes. We're neutral. 2 very different replies sounded. Silently looking at the Halloween Queen on the side, Bayayasha lowered the corners of his mouth, and his golden pupils full of majesty looked at Dozu again. Whether it is us or the 2 goddesses, we will maintain a neutral position on what Lin K will do next, as long as the matter between you does not affect the overall safety of the box court, cause any damage to it, and make any trouble you want. In that case, then I only have one last question. After receiving affirmative answers from Hakayaksha and the Halloween Queen, Dozu's gaze shifted back to the protagonist of this event. Lin K, are you the ultimate human trial? Chapter 331, The Ultimate Human Trial. Faced with Dozu's sudden strange question, Lin K let out a chuckle, but did not hide it. Yes, oh, I am indeed the ultimate trial of humanity, the ultimate human trial, the last man. This is one of the identities I currently hold. Lin K is the ultimate trial of mankind. Hearing Lin K's words, the 3 figures standing behind him all showed shock. Really fake? In the existing human history, aren't most of the final trials of mankind overcome? The final trial of human beings that has not yet been broken should only be left with absolute evil, belonging to the unobserved realm. As well as the status is relatively special, it is difficult to say whether it is their decadent wind of the final trial of mankind. How come in addition to these 2 guys, an inexplicable last man suddenly appeared? And more importantly, Lin K, who holds the identity of the last man, has just killed the 2-digit Jesus and destroyed Christianity. They didn't think there was anything wrong before, and they even kept praising Lin Kuei for doing beautifully. Now that he knew that Lin Kuei was the final trial of mankind, this matter instantly became terrifying. Counterpart, shouldn't it be to completely destroy the outside world? Hey, you guys give me attention. Just when the triple digits were making up various conspiracy theories in their minds and guessing Lin Kuei's true purpose, Lin Kuei's voice suddenly came from the front. Don't think I can't hear it without saying it. I can hear your thoughts clearly. After devouring the Christian crowd, the number of gifts in Lin Kuei's hands increased unprecedentedly. With Lin Kuei's recent mind control, used to read minds as the core, he successfully fused a new divine right, the spiritual divine right, in all his efforts to urge the highly completed spiritual divine power, even if it was a 3-digit heart. Lin Kuei could also hear it. I'm here first, for only one purpose. That is to be the true master of the box court and stand above all of you. If you continue to spread rumors that I want to destroy human history, be careful that I twist your heads off and kick them as a ball. Triple digits. Even if you are strong, how can you still read minds? Not let ordinary people live. I still believe in the vision of the White Knight King. Just as the triple figures became more and more silent, the Tao ancestor standing in front of Lin Kuei slowly spoke, echoing Lin Kuei's words. In the matter of completely destroying human history, I believe you will not do it. The box court and the outside world are in a relationship of mutual observation. Because of the interdependence of the god species and human history, the complete destruction of the outside human race will also lead to the destruction of the box court world. Although the White Knight King had previously stated that his attitude was neutral, he would not help or hinder Lin Kuei in the future. But judging from the current situation, the White Knight King and the Halloween Queen and others all have trust in Lin Kuei. The White Knight King attaches great importance to the box court. The other party had trust in Lin Kuei, and Lin Kuei said at this moment that he would not destroy human history, which was indeed extremely convincing. But if you are the final trial of mankind, then whether the history of mankind in the outside world will be destroyed has nothing to do with your will. An invisible breeze blew through the 77 outer gates, and Dozu raised his hand to count in midair, summoning a thin translucent curtain. On the thin curtain, a small mountain villa built by humans in the middle of the mountains appears. A large number of humans dressed in the fur of wild beasts are constantly moving in and out of the mountain village, hunting wild beasts and developing civilization. Airplanes tilde. The fluctuation of time appeared on Dozu, and the scene on the screen moved rapidly as if pressing the fast-forward button. From a small mountain villa that had just taken shape, it developed into a large tribe, and then began to attack other tribes. The spark of civilization took root here and thrived. The images on the screen grow faster and faster, and the original mountain villa is destroyed in a war. Countless years have passed, and generations of civilized human beings have settled here, repeating the history of the past again and again. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Rebirth and death, creation and destruction. Like a peculiar reincarnation, history circulates again and again in this inconspicuous corner. Until one day, the wind blows in this world. It is the ultimate wind that represents destruction and devours everything. Under the blowing of this wind, this small corner of civilization that appeared again and again was completely swallowed. Together with the human history of this world, this inconspicuous small world disappeared into the endless world sea under the box court. The ones that just played are the scenes that I recorded when the wind of decadence destroyed a certain world. Taking back the translucent screen in the sky, Dozu looked at Lin Kuei in front of him again and continued the topic just now. As the most special human final trial, Wind of Decadence also has the function of conquering the time limit of the final trial of other humans. The last man, like absolute evil, is the final trial born within the realm of the unobserved. Until that day comes, none of us will know what percentage of the world the last man corresponds to. Your goal is to rule the major gods and become the true master of the box court. I don't care how you achieve the latter, but since you want to become the leader of the god group, you naturally have to be responsible for the subordinate gods. The destruction of human history in a large number of worlds, even 2- and 3-digit lings, will inevitably be affected. If you can solve this problem once and for all, then we will recognize that you have their qualifications to become the lord of the gods and will not interfere in this matter again. If you can't, how about you stop and give up your idea of becoming the lord of the gods? Buddhism is willing to join the gamble. If you can permanently solve the problem of the ultimate trial of mankind, why not recognize you as the lord of the gods? As soon as Dozu's voice fell, Shakyamuni and Brahma, who had not spoken since their appearance, echoed one after another. But, faced with the gamble proposed by the 3 Tao ancestors, Lin Kuei did not agree. Admit it? Did you 3 get something wrong? Boom. The overwhelming momentum fell head-on, and Lin Kuei stood in the strong wind, laughing maniacally. If I want to be the lord of the gods, then I am destined to become the lord of the gods. This is both my purpose and the fact that it will happen absolutely in the future. As for your so-called admission, I only have 4 words I want to return to you. Lin Kuei gave a thumbs up, rotated it counterclockwise and pointed downwards to make an evaluation. Shit. Chapter 332. Mad. It's crazy. Looking at Lin Kei, who burst out without warning and launched a provocation towards the three major and double figures. Even Bayayasha, who was mentally prepared not far away, could not help but fall silent at this moment. After this kid finished beating Jesus, he was really crazy. Even if Lin Kei really had the confidence to say so, he directly slapped his face and mocked back. When Daozu and the others talked about the conditions in a harmonious manner, this is really not giving face at all, directly rushing to provoke Daozu and the others and let them go. Remembering that Lin Kei had promised her a few minutes ago that he would try not to solve the problem, Bayayasha felt that his blood pressure was constantly rising. This is how you solve the problem without doing it? Lin Kei, do you insist on solving the problem by force? On the other hand, the three Dao ancestors, who also did not expect Lin Kei to suddenly provoke, were stunned, and 013 opened his mouth to remind, although only the three of us are standing in front of you now. But once you go to war, you're not just going to face 3 or 2 figures. Whether it is a sleeping spirit fish or a traveling Julimo, they will participate in this battle. Even the White Night King and the 2 goddesses will side with us who are more numerous, for the sake of overall order. Unlike the Christian war, which was full of hatred and no one intervened at all when it was fought. The next thing Lin Kei had to face was the coalition army from the major god groups of the box court. Once Lin Kei chooses to go to war, at least 8 2-figure alliances will stand against him. In addition to Lin Kei and the dead Jesus, there are now 16 double-digit figures in the box court. 8 double-digit figures, already accounting for half of the number. If the situation is bad, there will even be more double-digit additions. Once the war begins, it will be far larger than the battle between you and Jesus, and even any previous great war. At that time, even if it is a box court, it will inevitably be affected by an unprecedented situation. Are you sure you want to do this? It's you, not me. You have to make the decision. Lin Kei's face showed a teasing look. Dao ancestor, you shouldn't really think that your odds of winning are high. Of course not. Daozu calmly replied, I still know that the odds of winning a war with you are about equal to 0. Lin Kei is the ultimate trial of mankind. There, last man, born from the unobserved realm. If you want to defeat it, you must understand the roots of the other party and create a hero corresponding to the inheritance. But that's impossible. Lin Kei defeated Jesus and devoured the extremely evil double digits of the biblical gods. Dao ancestor himself is also in 2 figures. Even if they are powerful, they can't create Yingji, who specifically targets Lin Kei. Today's Lin Kei is impossible to kill. Or rather, when he defeated Jesus and showed himself to be the ultimate human trial, he was already invincible. If you fight, the most optimistic result is to temporarily seal it like absolute evil. But even so, the process of fighting is bound to last a long time. This is what Daozu and others want to avoid. Unlike those 3-digit figures who just watched the play but didn't see the point, Daozu had noticed one thing. In the battle with Jesus, Lin Kei's strength has been constantly improving and evolving several times. Seeing that scene with his own eyes, even if it was Daozu, these veteran double digits, they didn't want to provoke Lin Kei again. This is how they took a step back as soon as they appeared, choosing to end the dispute by gambling. It's a pity that Lin Kei didn't appreciate it and directly ignored the gambling contract they proposed. In this case, even Daozu and the others had no other good way. Lin Kei, are you sure you want to go to war? After a moment of silence, Daozu reminded again, if you really want to go to war, even if the possibility is low, we will find a way to seal you. At that time, whether it is success or failure, the aftermath of the battle will have a significant impact on the box court. If you really live up to the trust of the White Night King, it is better to accept our bet. Almost, Daozu. Seeing that the 3 Dao ancestors still did not grasp the point, Lin Kei shook his head a little helplessly. Have you been putting aside the gambling covenant to start the war seal, and gambling on their war seal? Haven't you considered one thing? What do you mean? Of course, it's a 2-digit battle in your mouth. Is it possible that it can't be fought at all? Can't fight? After listening to Lin Kei's words, Daozu temporarily stopped speaking, and Yu Guang glanced at the 2 people around him. Seeing that they still did not speak, after letting him continue the next conversation, Daozu looked at Lin Kei again. Why can't you fight? Do you think we will do nothing to recognize your status as the Lord of the Gods, and then sit back and watch our spiritual personality decline? Why not? The smile on Lin Kei's face became stronger. Dao ancestor, I have 3 simple arithmetic problems in my hand. Do you want to try to answer them? You say, read violent novels, go on fellow fiction network. That first question. Lin Kei raised a finger. 120, 80. That's a good answer. And then the second question. Lin Kei raised his second finger. 100, 100. Daozu realized something was wrong. 0. Congratulations, congratulations. You answered correctly again. Lin Kei nodded with a smile and raised a third finger. The last question, which is the bigger 80 or 0? Naturally 80. That's right. It's 80 is big. Boom. The momentum on his body skyrocketed again without warning. and Lin Kei turned to look at the three figures behind him and asked questions. Guys, if I give you a choice, do you choose to lose some of the ling, or choose to lose all 4.4 lings? In response to Lin Kei, there was a deathly silence. In the face of this strange and terrifying question, the three figures present naturally will not answer rashly. But the three-digit figures did not dare to answer, and Lin Kei naturally had a way to force them to answer. Hestia, do you choose to lose some of your ling, or do you choose to lose all of your ling? Lin Kei looked at the goddess of fire who had greeted him with a smile not long ago and invited him to visit the sacred mountain of Olympus. For the sake of your acquaintance of Athena, I'll give you a little more time. 10 seconds. Tell me your answer. Hestia, you call this more time? Chapter 333. Faced with Lin Kei's sudden question, Hestia, who was still watching, was a little caught off guard. But as one of the 12 main gods of the Greek gods, Hestia, who was in charge of diplomacy in the past, was extremely intelligent. Although the time was short, Hestia still realized the underlying meaning of Lin Kei's words. Lin Kei had the ability to decide whether she would lose some of her ling, or all of her lingzi. Losing all ling is basically equivalent to death. There was not enough time to continue thinking about where Lin Kei's confidence came from, and Hestia hesitated for 2 seconds before replying. If there were only 2 options to choose, I would choose to lose only a portion of the lingo. Then it seems that you do not support war. Lin Kei nodded slightly, looking at the other 3 figures behind Hestia. What about you? Which one do you choose? Give you 5 seconds, and if you don't answer, I'll default to losing all your linyu. Triple digits. 18. The 10 seconds you gave Hestia were really extended. 5. Ignoring the triple digit figures who were stunned in place, with a tangled look on their faces, Lin Kei began the countdown after he finished speaking. 4, 3. I chose to lose part of the linga. Dagda, who had been secretly observing, suddenly stood up. Unlike the other gods, the leader of their Celtic group, the Halloween Queen, has already indicated that they want to support Lin Kei. As the god king of the Celtic god group, Dagda must make a statement at this time even if he has the intention to retrieve the ling. I also chose to lose some of my ling. I'm willing to lose some of my lingo. Why are you all intimidated? Dao ancestor, they have shown that they want to support us. But Dao Zu also said that their chance of winning is about 0, and the biggest possibility is still ceiling. In that process, dare to guarantee that the remaining ling of your own will not be taken away by Lin Kei's card. Although this decision is a bit provocative, I think it is better to stop the loss in time, and I choose to lose part of the ling. Lin Kei's words currently sound simple and threatening, and there is no basis at all. As for it, then do you choose to lose all the lingu? Of course not. I choose to lose part of the lingo. If you can become the representatives of their respective god groups and come here in 3 digits, naturally there will be no fools. After Hestia and Dagda made successive decisions, they reacted one after another, realizing what this choice meant. If he chooses to lose part of the ling, it is equivalent to giving up getting back that part of their ling and choosing to support Lin Kei to become the leader of the god group. If you choose to lose all the ling, you will be the opposite. That meant that he still wanted to retrieve all the ling and completely stand on the opposite side of Lin Kei and start a war with him. However, the option given by Lin Kei was to lose all the ling, rather than directly say that he would start a war. This means that he has a whole card to take away their linga. It's a dangerous message that makes a large portion of the wobbly triple digits give up. Of course, there are those who are scared into choosing to give up. Naturally, there were also those who did not believe Lin Kei's words, feeling that his whole cards could not be exaggerated to that level of 3-digit figures. They believed that Dozu and the others would be able to break Lin Kei's whole card and seal it to win. Various replies came from all directions, and the triple digits who had been silent gave their responses. To this, Lin Kei did not give any reply, as if he hadn't heard them. He stood quietly and counted the 5-second countdown. As of the last moment, a total of 90% of the 3-digit gods have chosen to lose some of their lingzi. After announcing the final statistical conclusion, the corners of Lin Kei's mouth rose slightly, and he looked at the holy fire goddess in front of him with a smile. Read violent novels. Just go to Fellow Fiction Network. Hestia, do you understand what this means? I don't understand. No, you understand. Lin Kei smiled and shook his head. After all, from the beginning, I neither had the ability to activate the contract, nor did I make you make any vows. Even if you choose to lose part of your lingo, you can cheekily jump to my opposite side in their future. Most of you thought about it, and so did you. In this case, there are still people who choose to lose all lingo, and that can only represent one thing. The remaining 1 into 3 digits is the people of the Dao ancestor. Of course, that's a good thing for me. His gaze swept over the 3 figures who remained silent until the end, and Lin Kei's face showed satisfaction. After all, if someone doesn't mind losing all the ling, then I can also kill the monkey and show it to you. You said yes, Hiromoku Tenka. It was a red-skinned man with 2 arms on the left and right sides, and a 3-digit figure with a thick Buddha light wrapped around his body. Seeing Lin Zheng's name, the 3 digits blocking in front of him gave way one after another, making a way for him. Seeing this, the Gwingma Heavenly King, who was wearing heavy armor and holding a pagoda on his left first arm, did not care and walked out directly. 720 games are different, so choose so. King Gwingma originated in Hindu mythology and held a prominent position in Buddhism. Faced with the multiple choice question given by Lin Kuei, he had no options to choose from there. Beginning, he must stand firm and put himself on the same side as Shakyamuni and Brahma. Do it. Let me see your confidence. As you wish. In the midst of talking and laughing, Lin Kuei cut out the part of the link that belonged to their Gwingma Heavenly King in his body, and directly began to resonate. Ready? Meet the last moment of life. Huh? Stop, stop. As soon as the resonance fluctuation came out, the three Tao ancestors not far away instantly discovered that something was wrong. Except for the Tao ancestor who stood in place and did not act immediately, Brahma and Shakyamuni immediately began to act. The fluctuations of the realm were fleeting, and Brahma and Shakyamuni appeared on the left and right sides of Lin Kuei, releasing breath to try to isolate Lin Kuei's resonance. Alas, why bother? Lin Kuei shook his head slightly, raised his finger and flicked it towards the ceiling enchantment that appeared in front of him. You should know very well that this enchantment is impossible to stop me. Boom. Chapter 334. A deafening roar sounded, and the ceiling enchantment created by Brahma and Shakyamuni was pierced in an instant. Then, at the moment when the three digits had not yet reacted, two new roars sounded one after another. Boom, boom. Brahma and Shakyamuni, who were originally standing on Lin Kuei's left and right, disappeared, replaced by those who appeared in front of Lin Kuei. Do you want to stop it too? Lin Kuei waved his fist at him, setting off a raging wind that blew away the fog around Dao Zu's body. It may take a little more effort, but I don't mind having a fight with you. Airplanes tilde. Airplanes tilde. The space slowly twisted, and Shakyamuni, who was wrapped in the light of the Buddha, and Brahma, who released the power of creation, reappeared. Although they appeared unscathed on the surface, their expressions were much heavier than at first. The worst happened. After devouring Jesus, Lin Kuei's strength ushered in a further improvement. Compared to the power he showed when he finally fought against Jesus, Lin Kuei is now even more terrifying. If you go head to head, the odds are good. Very low. Why don't you talk anymore? Just when the 3 or 2 digits fell silent, Lin Kuei's chuckle sounded again. If you don't speak, then I will acquiesce to your submission. Airplanes tilde. The fluctuations of lingo resonance rose again and quickly entered the third stage to establish a channel. Since he had had an experience when devouring Yahweh and the Holy Spirit before, Lin Kuei was more rapid this time. With just a blink of an eye, Lin Kuei took away most of the Gwingma Heavenly King's lingzi, reducing his power to 4 figures. Please wait a minute. Seeing that the aura of the Gwingma Heavenly King was weakening more and more, Shakyamuni once again struck to interrupt the resonance of the link between the two. I already understand your whole cards. Please stop here tilde. Why should I stop? Lin Kuei asked rhetorically. I should have given him a choice, right? It was he who chose to lose all his lingu, and I'm just fulfilling his wish now. No, the Broad-Eye Heavenly King chose to lose part of the lingzi. Shakyamuni shook his head slightly, and a bright spot condensed from his fingertips, flicking it towards Lin Kuei. The one who says in the name of King Gwingma that he will lose all his spiritual qualities is Shakyamuni. In that case, the part of the link that the Broad-Eye Heavenly King has to pay should naturally be borne by Shakyamuni. It's okay. Accepting the link handed over by Shakyamuni, Lin Kuei showed a smile on his face. After all, I promised Shirayasha that I would settle it peacefully. If you really slaughter him, the impact will not be very good. Shakyamuni, if you want a peaceful solution, then you simply don't look for trouble. Airplanes tilde. Just when Shakyamuni secretly complained that Lin Kuei had nothing to do, the fluctuation of Lingo's resonance sounded again. Okay, next it's you. Lin Kuei looked at another 3-digit person. I remember that you were silent during their countdown like the Gwingma Heavenly King before, and chose, lose all lingzi. Since you failed to kill the chicken and monkey with the Gwingma Heavenly King, you can only sacrifice it. That's it, take it. As soon as Lin Kuei's words were halfway through, the Tao ancestor in front suddenly let out a sigh and threw a piece of ling over. Oh? 3-digit linger, you are atmospheric. Lin Kuei smiled and put it away. I thought you were going to learn Shakyamuni and wait until the other party was sucked to 4 figures by me before you started. Shakyamuni? He obviously just hesitated just now, and he seemed to say it on purpose. Then again, do you have to go through the process on this side? Ignoring the subtle expression of Shakyamuni, Lin Kuei turned his head to look at Brahma on their side. Or are you not ready to cut your own ling? Just watch your subordinates being swallowed by me. Take it. Some reluctantly cut out a 3-digit linger, and Brahma handed it over. To be honest, he wanted to learn Shakyamuni. After all, the gap between a 4-digit linger and a 3-digit linger is still quite large. But before a Tao ancestor made a statement, Lin Kuei took the initiative to ask. If he does this again, it will be somewhat immoral. Chief Lin Kuei, How about returning the part of the Gwingma Heavenly King link that you took away? Seeing that Brahma had also cut out a 3-digit link, Shakyamuni always felt that the eyes of the broad-eye Heavenly King became resentful when he looked at him. After a little thought, Shakyamuni cut out a part of his link again and handed it to Lin K. I can exchange this part of the link for the Gwingma Heavenly King link that you took away. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. It's good to say, as long as the quantity is right. Accepting the link handed over by Shakyamuni, Lin K shot a point of light towards the Gwingma Heavenly King, causing it to return to 3 digits. Well, now it seems that everyone's opinions are unified, and you all choose to lose part of their links. Clapping his hands and making a noise, Lin K smiled and looked at Shakyamuni and their others whose breath was slightly weaker. The 3 figures all chose to surrender and were willing to recognize me as the Lord of the Gods. From this, it can be confirmed that the 3 digits will not follow you and join the next big war. Even if you choose 3 digits, then the 3 digits below naturally don't need to be said more. The only thing that is not sure whether it will fight or not is 2 digits left. Airplanes tilde. The fluctuations of Linga's resonance rose for the last time. This time Lin K aimed at the 3. Shakyamuni. Choose, lose part of links, or choose, lose all links. For your sake of being in the double digits, I'll give you 10 seconds. If you don't make a choice after 10 seconds, I will default to your choice of losing all lingo. The countdown begins. 10, 9. Let's stop here for this farce. Lin K's countdown had just begun, and the Tao ancestor standing in front of him let out a sigh again. I have no problem with you becoming the Lord of the Gods, and I am willing to lose part of their link to help you ascend to the throne. Chapter 335. Although Lin K's strength is very strong, he is so strong that ordinary double figures cannot confront him head-on. But with just one link resonance 3rd stage, it is impossible to threaten Daozu and their others. But it doesn't really matter if you can threaten double digits. When Lin K showed with actual actions that he was able to ignore the 3-digit resistance and devour the 3-digit link through the resonance of the lingo, this negotiation, which Daozu and others considered very important, was destined to become a joke. Just like Lin K said, their unprecedented war they talked about was impossible to fight from the beginning. 80 is greater than 0. Instead of losing all of their subordinates in the end, they even face the risk of being devoured. It is better to choose to surrender from the beginning and give up those 20 linga in exchange for safety. Buddhism has no problem with Lin K becoming the Lord of the Gods. The Indian gods have no problem with Lin K becoming the Lord of the Gods. What the Tao ancestor could think of, Shakyamuni and Brahma could naturally think of as well. At the next second when Daozu made his decision, the two who understood that this battle was completely impossible to fight gave responses one after another. Not bad, it seems that you are all smart people. Converged back the momentum that had been continuously released, and Lin K's face showed satisfaction. I'm not greedy, since you choose to lose 20 ling then I will naturally leave you 80. Go back and change the history of the gods. Let me become the Lord of the Gods in the true sense. I'm willing to gamble and lose. Since I promised it, I will naturally do it. Worried that Lin K would make trouble again, Daozu asked specifically after thinking for 2 seconds. However, this kind of work is huge, and it cannot be completed overnight, so there should be no time requirement on your side. Of course not, it's just a name. Lin K smiled and waved his hand. If you really want to obtain the strength of Ling improvement, you don't need to be so troublesome at all. Then I have to thank you. You're a weird person, including the 2 figures of Daozu. Everyone present couldn't help but fall silent after hearing this. Just for a name, scare them here for half a day, and finally take away 20 of their ling. That's great. It seems that you have not forgotten that I can read minds. After glancing at the 3-digit people not far away, Lin K shifted his gaze back to Daozu and the others. Okay. Let's get down to business first. There is no hurry to revise the history of the gods. Before officially starting work to revise the history of the gods, you will help me build a battlefield. Battlefield? That's right. The battlefield that can withstand a 2-digit battle. If the location is in the outer gate of the northern district, 54545 outer gate of the north district, isn't there the outer door that seals absolute evil? After hearing this sensitive news, the 3 Tao ancestors reacted instantly, looking at Lin K in surprise. You're going to solve absolute evil? Devouring, to be exact. Lin K replied with a smile. Just like you said before, since you have become the Lord of the Gods, it is necessary to be responsible for your subordinates. The problem of the ultimate trial of mankind must be solved, and the first step is to start with the eradication of absolute evil. We really can't understand your brain circuitry. Shirayasha, who was not far away, finally couldn't help it, and opened his mouth to complain. Since you are ready to do this from the beginning, then why don't you agree to the Daozu and their gambling agreement? What's so confusing about that? Lin K shrugged. Isn't the answer obvious? One is active and one is passive. Agreed to the request of the 3 Tao ancestors, then in the eyes of outsiders, Lin K chose to back down, afraid of the double digits of the major god groups. Since he wanted to become the Lord of the Gods, Lin Kei naturally would not allow this kind of thing to happen. He can accept a series of labels such as lecherous, no morality, cheeky and so on from Athena and others, because that is true, and it does not conflict with his becoming the Lord of the Gods. But the label, fear of the double digits of the major god groups, will not work. The Lord of the Gods is afraid of the subordinate gods. If this happens, then what is the difference between this Lord of the Gods, Bifa, and the clown? Lin Kei's gaze swept over the three Tao ancestors. There are many ways to let me solve their final trial of mankind. As long as the reward is right, I can even take the deal and help solve the final human trial. But it is impossible to succeed only by forcing me to make a bet on it. It's as simple as that. In other words, eat soft or hard. Facing Lin Kei, who had a strong attitude, Dozu sighed silently in his heart, and a look of helplessness flashed in his eyes. In fact, Lin Kei was right. The reason why he proposed the gamble was not only to solve the problem peacefully, but also to weaken Lin Kei's majesty. In this way, even if the other party really succeeds in the future, he will lose a part of his Lingzi. At least the image and majesty in the group of gods will remain the same, and will not decline. Too seriously read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network. It's a pity that Lin Kei saw through this and suppressed them in all aspects through frontal combat and the method of Ling resonance. Single-handedly crush the 3 and 2 digits. When this news spreads, even if the matter of revising the history of the gods has not yet started, Lin Kei will become the nominal lord of the gods. As for their 3 double digits, it can only be said that the decisions they made in the future clashed with Lin Kei's ideas. The people below no longer trust them unconditionally and choose to follow as before. Actually, you don't have to do more. Although the 3 Dozu didn't say anything, after noticing that they fell silent, Lin Kei still guessed their thoughts. As I just said, my purpose is to become the titular leader of the gods. At that time, in addition to letting you run errands, it is you people who are responsible for managing the god group on weekdays. If you choose to be soft and hide my strength when you go back, you will also be able to maintain your own wise image. Even if it will also reduce the right to speak, it will not lose much after being positively suppressed by him like this. I'm still too confident. Lin Kei shook his head slightly, but after all, you are in 2 digits, and you have been at the apex of the box court for a long time. I feel that my plan can be successful, and I want to protect my own interests to the greatest extent. I can understand it. This is the end of the matter. There is nothing more to say about this matter. Shakyamuni shook his head slightly, temporarily interrupting Lin Kei's repeated whipping of corpses. Willing to gamble and lose, I will obey your arrangement and build a battlefield at the outer gate of 54,545 afterwards. Do you have any other requests besides this one? Not for now. Then I won't bother here any further. I'll go back and inform the people below first. I have something to deal with. See you next time. 3 different voices sounded one after another. After receiving Lin Kei's affirmative reply, the 3 Shakyamuni disappeared in a blink of an eye, running without a trace, slipped away, not staying here and being repeatedly whipped for corpses. Chapter 336. Really? What to do so fast? Seeing that the 3 of Shakyamuni disappeared without a trace in a blink of an eye, Lin Kei couldn't help but complain. I look like I'm scary. Although his only business at the moment is indeed to build a battlefield to prepare for his next battle. But in addition to this matter, Lin Kei also wanted to inquire about whether there were any high-quality single goddesses in the 3 major communities of Buddhism, Taoism and their Indian goddess. Even if you can't use it for a short time, you can summon it when you're idle and bored in their future. After wasting so much effort to become the Lord of the Gods, he can't just do things without enjoying happiness. Forget it. Let's ask next time we meet. Temporarily postponing the matter of enriching the harem on this side of the box court, Lin Kei looked at the conspicuous white-haired royal sister not far away. Yasha, how's it going? Did I not lie to you this time, and settled it peacefully? If I have to say it, you are indeed a nuclear level. The short hair that originally reached just around the shoulders became waist-length hair, scattered behind him and blown in the wind. Wearing the kimono with special effects and growing larger with his body, Shirayasha couldn't help but shake his head helplessly. I didn't expect you to actually succeed. Being able to make those 3 guys soft at the same time, you are also unprecedented. At this time, even if you add a person who does not come, I think it is no problem. After seeing this example of you again, we dare not guarantee that a second monster will not appear. The time Lin Kei spent in the other world did not count. From the day he arrived at the box court, a total of about 2 months had passed. From the dry flip, Borsius, unsealing Ardil, to the mass murder of Christianity, and finally to their suppression of 3 double figures today. In less than 2 months, Lin Kei proved 2 things to Ayasha with his own existence. In the endless world outside the box court, there are really monsters with 2 digits or above. That the Halloween Queen is not bragging when she says that she can summon summons beyond her limits. She really only used an invitation to summon Lin Kei. Silently glancing at the source of all evil, which seemed to be nothing, Ayasha looked at Lin Kei again. Are you sure you're going to fight absolute evil? As a pure blood dragon species, if you want to fight against it, It is more difficult to fight than to face Christianity alone. Well, I naturally know this, Lin Kuei replied, simulating the star creation map, a vista. You can obtain the performance of enemies other than humans and apply it temporarily. If you go against absolute evil, the final result is probably a fight with myself, not against you. Shirayasha corrected. The correct statement is to fight with you yourself plus the sum of Aztaka. There's no need to care about such small details. Lin Kuei waved his hand, not caring at all. It's not me blowing with you, Hakayasha. Don't look at Aztaka and me, they are the ultimate trials of mankind. But as far as his little power is concerned, after being integrated into my power, their improvement is minimal, and it will not affect the final result. Moreover, the ability to be the ultimate test of mankind, specifically for the inhuman race, is not exclusive to Aztaka. With growth abilities such as the Last Man, Lin Kuei and Aztaka will only get stronger and stronger when fighting. At that time, Lin Kuei had the output of extreme creature, real injuries. But Aztaka could only stalemate with him, become his experience pack to help brush power, which is the only role of Aztaka. In short, you don't have to worry, I can't lose a fight with Aztaka. If I have to say where it is more worrying, it is the battlefield I used to fight with him. If you accidentally blow up the battlefield you have set up, you may have to end the battle early. You don't have to worry about the battlefield. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network, Bayayasha replied in a flat tone. At that time, let's borrow your name and give you a few more two-digit figures to help. Unless your strength exceeds 2 digits, you will not be able to defeat many 2-digit battlefields in a short period of time. It's worthy of Shirayasha, your connections are really extensive. Lin Kuei ridiculed, a mouth is to pull several double digits. I don't know how to thank me, or do I? Promise it with my body? You kid repays virtue with grudges, right? Bayayasha waved his hand with some disgust. Since you were summoned to the box court, we have been busy every day like a big wrongdoer. When you can stop a little and let us rest for a while, it is the best reward. Good to say, Lin Kuei replied with a smile. When I solve the decadent wind, there will be nothing to do on this side of the box court. At that time, in addition to walking around every day, I will go to the outside world to do things. Even if I do things. Wind of decadence? Hakayasha frowned, and his expression became serious. Aren't you too floaty, that guy? Well, don't be so nervous, I know it in my heart. Raising his hand and patting Bayayasha's shoulder, Lin Kuei interrupted with a smile. Do you think when I did something to waste Shirayasha? If you think about it, it seems to be true. Obviously, when he was summoned to the box court at the beginning, Lin Kuei had a double-digit strength. At first, he did not wave, but step by step to test the difference between 4 digits, and 3 digits. After finally confirming that he really has double-digit strength, the frequency and scale of doing things is increasing. The most classic thing is that Lin Kuei was still respectful to her before hitting Jesus, and he didn't put her in his eyes after beating Jesus. Hey, I suddenly feel a little uncomfortable. Bayayasha smashed his tongue. Anyway, if you have a number, if Zenlang dies, we won't collect your body. Theoretically, if I really lose to the wind of decadence, I won't even have a corpse. Lin Kuei smiled, raised his hand and pulled out the Dao Realm gate in front of him. I'm ready to go back to the lower level. Do you want to go together? Not yet. Skimming the 77 outer gates that turned into ruins around them, and the 3-digit number that stood in place not far away, did not dare to move. Hakayasha rubbed his forehead, and a helpless expression appeared on his delicate face. We still have to deal with this mess for you, and we can't rest in the past 2 days. Then please, dear Lord Shirayasha, laughs. Shirayasha. Is the tone of this kid's speech getting more and more odd? Chapter 336. Really? What to do so fast? Seeing that the 3 of Shakyamuni disappeared without a trace in a blink of an eye, Lin Kuei couldn't help but complain. I look like I'm scary. Although his only business at the moment is indeed to build a battlefield to prepare for his next battle. But in addition to this matter, Lin Kuei also wanted to inquire about whether there were any high-quality single goddesses in the 3 major communities of Buddhism, Taoism and their Indian goddess. Even if you can't use it for a short time, you can summon it when you're idle and bored in their future. After wasting so much effort to become the lord of the gods, he can't just do things without enjoying happiness. Forget it, let's ask next time we meet. Temporarily postponing the matter of enriching the harem on this side of the box court, Lin Kuei looked at the conspicuous white-haired royal sister not far away. Hakayasha, how's it going? Did I not lie to you this time, and settled it peacefully? If I have to say it, you are indeed a nuclear level. The short hair that originally reached just around the shoulders became waist-length hair, scattered behind him and blown in the wind. Wearing the kimono with special effects and growing larger with his body, Shirayasha couldn't help but shake his head helplessly. I didn't expect you to actually succeed. Being able to make those 3 guys soft at the same time, you are also unprecedented. At this time, even if you add a person who does not come, I think it is no problem. After seeing this example of you again, We dare not guarantee that a second monster will not appear. The time Lin Ke spent in the other world did not count. From the day he arrived at the box court, a total of about 2 months had passed. From the dry flip, Borsius, unsealing Ardil, to the mass murder of Christianity, and finally to their suppression of 3 double figures today. In less than 2 months, Lin Ke proved 2 things to Bayasha with his own existence. In the endless world outside the box court, there are really monsters with 2 digits or above. That the Halloween Queen is not bragging when she says that she can summon summons beyond her limits. She really only used an invitation to summon Lin Ke. Silently glancing at the source of all evil, which seemed to be nothing, Bayasha looked at Lin Ke again. Are you sure you're going to fight absolute evil? As a pure-blood dragon species, if you want to fight against it, it is more difficult to fight than to face Christianity alone. Well, I naturally know this, Lin Ke replied, simulating the star creation map, a vista. You can obtain the performance of enemies other than humans and apply it temporarily. If you go against absolute evil, the final result is probably a fight with myself, not against you. Shirayasha corrected. The correct statement is to fight with you yourself plus the sum of Asda. Kaha. There's no need to care about such small details. Lin Ke waved his hand, not caring at all. It's not me blowing with you, Hakayasha. Don't look at Aztaka and me, they are the ultimate trials of mankind. But as far as his little power is concerned, after being integrated into my power, their improvement is minimal, and it will not affect the final result. Moreover, the ability to be the ultimate test of mankind, specifically for the inhuman race, is not exclusive to Aztaka. With growth abilities such as the Last Man, Lin Ke and Aztaka will only get stronger and stronger when fighting. At that time, Lin Ke had the output of extreme creature, real injuries. But Aztaka could only stalemate with him, become his experience pack to help brush power, which is the only role of Aztaka. In short, you don't have to worry, I can't lose a fight with Aztaka. If I have to say where it is more worrying, it is the battlefield I used to fight with him. If you accidentally blow up the battlefield you have set up, you may have to end the battle early. You don't have to worry about the battlefield. Read violent novels, just go to Fellow Fiction Network, Bayasha replied in a flat tone. At that time, let's borrow your name and give you a few more 2-digit figures to help. Unless your strength exceeds 2 digits, you will not be able to defeat many 2-digit battlefields in a short period of time. It's worthy of Shirayasha, your connections are really extensive. Lin Ke ridiculed, a mouth is to pull several double digits. I don't know how to thank me, or do I? Promise it with my body? You kid repays virtue with grudges, right? Bayasha waved his hand with some disgust. Since you were summoned to the box court, we have been busy every day like a big wrongdoer. When you can stop a little and let us rest for a while, it is the best reward. Good to say, good to say. Lin Ke replied with a smile. When I solve the decadent wind, there will be nothing to do on this side of the box court. At that time, in addition to walking around every day, I will go to the outside world to do things. Even if I do things. Wind of decadence? Hakayasha frowned, and his expression became serious. Aren't you too floaty, that guy? Well, don't be so nervous, I know it in my heart. Raising his hand and patting Bayasha's shoulder, Lin Ke interrupted with a smile. Do you think when I did something to waste Shirayasha? If you think about it, it seems to be true. Obviously, when he was summoned to the box court at the beginning, Lin Ke had a double-digit strength. At first, he did not wave, but step by step to test the difference between 4 digits, 4 digits, and 3 digits. After finally confirming that he really has double-digit strength, the frequency and scale of doing things is increasing. The most classic thing is that Lin Ke was still respectful to her before hitting Jesus, and he didn't put her in his eyes after beating Jesus. Hey, I suddenly feel a little uncomfortable. Bayasha smashed his tongue. Anyway, if you have a number, if Zenlang dies, we won't collect your body. Theoretically, if I really lose to the wind of decadence, I won't even have a corpse. Lin Ke smiled, raised his hand and pulled out the Dao Realm gate in front of him. I'm ready to go back to the lower level. Do you want to go together? Not yet. Skimming the 77 outer gates that turned into ruins around them, and the 3-digit number that stood in place not far away, did not dare to move. Hakayasha rubbed his forehead, and a helpless expression appeared on his delicate face. We still have to deal with this mess for you, and we can't rest in the past 2 days. Then please, dear Lord Shirayasha, laughs. Shirayasha. Is the tone of this kid's speech getting more and more rude?